Assalamu alaikum, merhaba, and hello, welcome back to another video, guys. So I just got a lot of DMs and on my Instagram to make a video on how to solve IQ questions for Turkey Diyanet Foundation scholarship program. So I didn't have time, so I asked my brother to help me out in this, and he's really good in maths. So he just recorded a voice message, and we put some images, and there is a voice note behind it, and he really explained how you can solve it in an easy way. And this video is in English language, and if you're struggling with English, so you can open the subtitles below the video. There's a CC option, and this is how you can watch. And please watch it fully so you can understand the logic and you can solve it by your own. So after this video, you will be practicing it by your own, and you will be solving questions by your own. And it is really so good thing when you're going for the scholarship interview and they're giving you the exam page, right? And one more thing, don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel and hit that bell notification to get notified for upcoming next videos. So all the best and good luck.
This is a type of question that identifies your ability to recognize patterns and sequences in the form of digits or letters. And it could also be asked in the form of figures. We have been given figures. And furthermore, you will have to perform, there may come a question where you have to perform basic arithmetic operations to get the answer. So if you look at this example, it is asking, using the same logic, what number represents the word cool? And you have been given two words and the digits assigned to them. So if you break it down, this is a very basic, very easy question. Try to solve it on your own by pausing the video. And each letter has a digit. Like for example, the code has 4 digits, so each letter has been given one digit. Like C, for example, is assigned the digit 3, O is assigned 1, L is assigned 7, and so on. So this is a very basic example. The word is cool, and C is assigned 3 from the word cold. So you will get 3 as the first digit, and then O is assigned digit 1, and there comes O two times in the word cool. So there will be 1311, and that basically throws the answer. That is option A. This is a very basic, very crude example of matching the sequence or matching the shapes, you may call it. So feel free to pause the video and try to solve it on your own. And what you have to do is, in these type of questions, is pick the odd one out, or you may be asked in a vice versa manner where the right choice would be pick the evenly matched shapes. So what you have been given 5 options with totally 10 figures with exactly the counterparts given in a vertical manner. So I will tell you how my thought process worked in solving this question, just to give you an idea there how it is one way to solve it. You may approach it however you like. So look at. So I've already looked at the question, and I will tell you how my thought process worked. So look at option B, D, and E. The In these three options, the vertical counterparts are exactly the same. There is no change in the figure. So you can evenly cut these out, eliminate these options. That leaves us with option A and option C. If you look closely in option A, what is different from its vertical counterpart? Yes, so the triangle within the triangle has changed the position. It's on the line and it's under the line. So that is what changed in option A. If you look closely at option C, there is a whole circle missing in the counterpart. So that is the odd one. Where so how the thought process worked? Let me repeat it. So option B, D, E were already eliminated because they were exactly the same figures, and option A was somehow evenly matched with its counterpart having the triangle within the triangle, on the line and under the line. And option C was completely different, where the figures were changed. That's how we solve it. So this is another type of questions where you have been asked to predict the shape, and it's actually subclause of that which is basically asking you to identify the mirror or the reflected image of that. So when I say mirrored image or reflected image, also feel free to pause the video and try to solve it on your own as we try to solve it. So what would happen when you try to visualize the image? What would happen if you mirror it or if you completely turn it 180 degree? So the rows would swap their places. So the circle and the trapezoid uh, would be in the first row in the answer, and the downward arrow and the bent arrow would be in the second row in the answer. Also, when solving this question, if you are trying to invert the shape, the shapes themselves would also invert. So inverted circle is inverted circle. So the downward arrow, for example, downward arrow would become an upward arrow, and a bent upward arrow would become a downward bent arrow. So when you match these types of specifics in the options, only option C is the right answer, where the downward arrow has become an upward arrow, and in the second row also happened the same with the bent arrow. A circle is a circle, no matter how many times you invert it. So if you look closely, option A and option C are very similar, and the only difference is that the trapezoid is not inverted in the option A, where the smaller side of trapezoid should be downward in the right option. So option C is the right option for that. This is another type of question that is counting the blocks, and it has appeared in the practice papers. So what you have to do is count the number of blocks, and the trick here is you also have to count the hidden blocks that cannot be shown in a 2D image. So you have to use your visualization skills. A very important tip here is try not to count every box randomly. You would probably end with the wrong answer every time, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not gonna work every time. Maybe or maybe not. So, a very good way to solve it is by counting the number of rows and columns and using the concept of area to try and minimize the number of blocks, counting the number of blocks. So, if you look at the front, that is, it shows that it has 4 columns and 3 rows. Yes, 4 columns and 3 rows. If you use the concept of area, that turns out to be 4 multiplied with 3 is equals 12. So in the first layer of the box, it has 12 cubes. Try to write it down as I give you the instructions. So first layer has 12 cubes. Now move on to the second layer. So to count it. So one for starting from the left hand side, that is 1, 2, 3. There are 3 cubes on the left side, and then move on to the middle. So you have been shown 2 in the middle, and if you think about it, there are also going to be boxes behind it. So the upper layer is not floating. Try to use your logical skills. So the upper layer, the third or fourth layer is not floating. It is stacked upon the second layer. So it would also have boxes underneath it. So the second layer has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are visual, 5 are visual, and visualize what could be the hidden ones. So 1, 2, 3, they are basically 4 columns. So you have already counted 1 column, you have 3 columns left, and in the second layer you have 5 visuals and 3 hidden boxes. So that makes it second layer 8 cubes. Moving on to the third layers, they are basically visible. That is three cubes, and then another cube, one cube. So that is third and fourth layer combined, four cubes. So that basically counts into 12 plus 8 plus 4, and that turns out to be 24 cubes in total. So very important tip, very basic tip, that is try not to solve it randomly by counting random boxes. Uh, Divide it into rows and columns and visualize the concepts. What could be the number of hidden boxes, and use the concept of area. This is another type of question about the orientation of subjects, orientation of the figures. So the question given is which figure is the rotation of the object. So they're going to either rotate the figure in a clockwise manner or in an anti-clockwise manner, and you have to somehow visualize how it would look if you rotate it either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So there are four options given. A best way The best way and an easy way would be to track the shaded figures, that is a shaded star and a shaded triangle. And what would make the question a lot easier if you also try to track the line that is converting the circle into two hemispheres and has a shaded circle on top of it. So if you try to track especially this line, that basically rules out first option, because the distance between the shaded figures and the line is not what is it is supposed to be in the given figure. And if you look at the second option, what is wrong with it? The star and the triangle, shaded triangle, has soft places, so that cannot be the right option. And if you look at the third option, that is basically apparent why it is wrong. The shaded figures have been put at some distance. So the only option remaining is option D. And what happened here is a clockwise rotation, and the other figures also retained their orientation. So that is the right option for it.